Hello, goodbye, and hello again, and welcome back to Minecraft. We're doing another texture pack review today, this time on the Backrooms texture pack, which is about to leave the Marketplace pass, but I'm going to go ahead and get it in while it's still on here. And it's normally 490 mine coins. The description says, all blocks, mobs, items, the whole world is now in the Backrooms style. Drawn Infinite, the Backrooms map. So if you're not familiar with the Backrooms, it's kind of a like liminal horror, set of stories and pictures. It's started with pictures on the internet of liminal spaces. If you're not sure what that is, then look it up. But it goes on to say the Backrooms Textures, custom creatures, scary resource pack, and 1.20 Trails and Tales update. So that tells us how up to date this is. It's from the 1.20 update, and it's just the texture pack, so there's no avatars or anything. Let's go ahead and hop on in. Okay, here we are in the texture review world. And so normally the back rooms, you're walking through like endless, identical maze-like hallways. So I guess that's what this pack is designed for, is for you to make your own back rooms. By the way, please subscribe if you haven't already. Let's set off a firework first things first, just in case that's different. Here are some things that grow. How these videos work is I show off all the textures and then I give my final thoughts. Here's things that grow. Kind of a strange azalea there. Flowery bush, some kind of wilty mushrooms. Okay, so they've updated recently enough to have a different colored pitcher plant. It's not dramatically different, but at least it's different. Here's some more flowers, kind of muted colors and dark versions of otherwise light flowers. That's the cactus. The trees all just kind of look pretty much how you'd expect them to, except darker. Well, these look different. Here's the mushrooms, the giant mushrooms. Let's look at some logs and planks, shall we? Okay. Yeah, I mean, these are kind of different, slightly different planks here. They look almost more like wooden bricks than the usual plank design. So they did something different, even if it's all the same pattern that, it's just different colors, which is fine for planks. You don't need planks to look dramatically different from each other. Here's dirt, sand, and gravel. Cool. Sandstone and sand. Here's some carved sandstone. Almost looks like a sword or an ankh honk carved on that. Stone and stuff. Yep. There's enough different usable textures here, I would say, so far. Like you're not gonna necessarily use this pack specifically for playing regular Minecraft in a normal world, I would imagine, but you could, from the looks of things so far. Cobblestones, bricks. Your stone bricks, blocks, etc. That's kind of a fun one. I guess that's supposed to be like tile. Like those bathroom liminal spaces, or not bathroom, but swimming pool liminal spaces, like something you might see in one of those. Here is glass. Liminal basically means it's like a transition space. Here is wool. There's one of these wool is not like the others. This wool just happens to stand out a lot more than the other wool. Concrete powder. Now we're starting to see more of the traditional liminal wall patterns. I'm sorry, backrooms wall patterns is what I meant. Concrete. There's terracotta. Glazed terracotta, some interesting patterns. I guess some of these are reminiscent of the originals, but they're different enough as to be interesting enough. Here's ores. Ooh, I do not like these ores. A lot of these ores, some of these ores just like blend in a little too much. I imagine that would be kind of hard to see if you were just like looking at a cave wall or whatever. Nether ore, easier to see. Deep slate ore, kind of the same problem as the regular ore. It's just slightly different. The amethyst, this is the least lively amethyst I think we've ever seen. Random lonely magma block. I guess if you're going for, if you enjoy a subdued texture pack, then this might be up your alley. Sponges, light sources. That's kind of a different torch there. Different redstone torch. Here are, okay, so this is, they didn't update it for the most recent update. Here's other various light sources. That's kind of cool. That's just a white block. They didn't have to try very hard for that one, I suppose. Here's what the signs look like. Kind of a little hard to read this one, but most of those are pretty readable. Here's the hanging signs. Monster spawners have like eyeballs on them. Fences and gates. Dried kelp block. I wonder if they'll update this for the latest stuff at some point. Diamond, lapis, gold, emerald, and redstone blocks. They look pretty different from what they originally were. Here's the iron block. Raw copper, gold, and iron. There's something to be said for readability, like you know, like could you tell that these were the diamond, lapis, gold, emerald, and redstone blocks if you didn't have a labeled sign in front of it? Lodestone. The prismarine is kind of cool. That's kind of interesting. Slime block, honey. Not sure I'd eat that honey. If your honey looks like that, it might be a little oxidized. Hay bale, bone block, quartz. Decent enough quartz. Copper. Again, that's too new. The copper is very different from each other. The ladder is black. Doors. As someone reminded me on a recent video, I did once say that a pack can live and die by its doors. I'll let you decide whether this pack lives or dies by its doors, but they seem okay so far. They're stylized enough, and they look like they might. I guess you don't really think of doors very much when you think of the back rooms, but usually you're just wandering around in hallways without doors. Here are the trap doors. Some of these would be usable on couches, but I don't know. I've seen packs with more usable trapdoors when it comes to trying to build couches or benches. Here's bookcases, etc. A very dark enchanting table. Let's look at the beds. The beds almost look like they have a brick pattern to them, especially when you place them all next to each other like that. Crafting table and villager job tables. Here's what the furnaces look like. That's kind of cool. That's different. Anvils and grindstones. Cauldrons. Here's the lava and the potion. Here's chests. Barrel. Juke blocks. Note block. Empty armor stand. Beacon. Bell. Iron bars. Nothing too out of the ordinary there. Just less vibrant of colors. Here are the paintings. The top ones are too new. So as would be expected from the Backrooms, I suppose, or from a Minecraft Backrooms texture pack, lots of like scratches on walls and stuff, textures that one could put in a maze, and various. Oh, there's the siren guy. Siren Man, whatever his name is. I don't remember specifically. Siren Head? I think it's Siren Head. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. That's just me fishing for comments at this point. Item frames, rails. Got some very black and white rails with the usual but slightly different patterns on them. I guess it might be a little difficult to tell this one from the normal rail from a distance. Here are mine carts. Oh, there's a creepy sheep. Creepy sheepy. I'm sure that's not the last creepy sheep we'll ever see. One might argue that it's not the first creepy sheep we've ever seen on this series either. Redstone stuff. There's your pistons. Here's pottery. Very dark pottery, but they all have designs on them. You know, at least it's updated enough that most of the pottery is stylized. Scaffolding. Here's banners and boats. Gotta love the boats. Well, I suppose you don't have to love the boats. You could hate the boats if you dislike boats. If you're a boat hater. But serviceable boats. That's kind of a strange boat there. Here's tough, only one of which is custom. And the trial spawner and vault are too new. So let's go ahead and jump back. All right. Here's a snowball for you. That's what snowballs look like. They're it's almost more like you're throwing a ceramic plate or something. Doesn't really look like a snowball, does it? Wind charge is too new. And here's, let's look at some armors. That's what the leather armor looks like. It looks like you made a suit out of cardboard boxes. Here, yeah, here's the chainmail. I'm sorry, this is chainmail. That's iron. Okay, so kind of hazmat suits and other creepy suits. Very some similar ones here, just with different masks and color schemes on the non-hazmat suits. This is what the elytra looks like. This is what the shield looks like. And let's look at some armor trims. As always, these are amethyst on iron armor. So amethyst trims on iron armor. I like to keep things consistent. Here are all of the armor trims. Looks like these designs seem to work pretty well on the iron armor. Even the two ones that are too new to be part of this pack. I guess that means that like it just happened to line up all right. I mean, it's a little strange actually now that I think about it to have designs on the mask of like a hazmat suit, but or an environment suit, whatever you want to call it. Let's look at the items and tools, weapons and tools. So the swords, most of the swords are very short in this pack, as we saw back over here with these. A lot of them are just like little daggers. That's doing something different, at least. Say what you will, but it's good to have some variety. I'm not overly impressed by the quality of the weapons and tools so far. They're a little basic and a little low poly. That's the compass, or that might be the you know, where respawn compass, whatever you call that, the one where shows you where you died. I think the one that's standing still is the regular compass, is what I'm trying to say. Horns, various foods, none of which looks particularly appetizing. It does look like the kind of thing you would expect to find having sat around for years in a endless maze. Various other foods, some of which is very haunted. Demonic foods. Here's music discs, some of which are too new. Things and buckets. Here's minerals. Miscellanea. Okay, let's look at the mobs, which is a big part of this pack. You're buying this pack for the wallpaper, textures, and the mobs, basically. And everything else is just extra. Here's what a couch would look like. Here's what a particularly haunted water cooler would look like. I keep forgetting the word water cooler. Here is a chicken, if you say so. That's a very strange chicken, but strange is good, I guess. You know, good to have some unusual mobs. And a bee. That's actually kind of a cool bee. I'll give them that one. The cow. Wow. That sure is a cow right there. If you asked me what this was, I wouldn't say that it was some sort of beholder-esque hellhound. I would say that it was a cow, of course. And the pig. Look at the pig's face. Here's the sheep, as we discussed before. Very, very strange sheep. The wolf actually appears pretty default. I'm not sure they even changed that. Maybe the wolves were the new wolves were added too recently, and it defaulted the texture. Maybe this is custom. I don't know. I guess maybe their faces look a little different, but pretty standard wolf. I was expecting something a little crazier, given that we've got things like mineral polar bear here. You know, looks like he's made out of some sort of rock. The ocelot, the cat. That's kind of cute. I kind of like this cat design. Here's the mushroom, which is actually dramatically different from the other cow for once. Usually the mushroom is just a cow with mushrooms slapped on it. Here is the bat, which appears to just be default bat, new default bat. The parrots. Trying to get a look at his eye. There you go. Now you can see the eye. Fewer parrot patterns here than I was expecting, but they're all kind of just different colors of the same parrot. Rabbit. Here we go. And the llama. Everybody's got these backroom smiles. The horse. There's you know, famous backrooms entities that have faces like this. Donkey. I'm not overly familiar with the backrooms. I've played a couple of backrooms games. Here's the mule. But you know, I've certainly seen videos of it and stuff. Videos of different games. Zombie horse. So, you know, they kind of just slapped the grin on the skeleton horse there. Tropical fish. Go ahead and dive in the water in case we can't, so that we can get a better look at them. Here's the cod. I apologize. There are still Endermen loose. I summoned one in last time and he's loose. He's running amok. This is the cod, right? I did say that was cod. Yeah, kind of an interesting cod. Quite different from what we're used to. See the puffer fish in there. Did they have irises at all, or are they just, no, they're just white cubes. Here's the salmon. Oh, I think that Enderman just damaged himself. All of these kind of look like if Venom took over, Venom from Spider-Man took over whatever entity they're originally supposed to be. There's the dolphin. Kind of cloudy water today. Interesting. Sea turtle. Not all of these are like custom geometry. Here's the panda. Oh, the fox looks different. Yeah, that one's definitely custom geometry. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, here's the enemy mobs, like the creeper, which looks different, but you could still kind of guess what that is if you didn't know. You know, if you didn't have a sign that said creeper, and you were to guess what Minecraft mob that was, you'd probably say the creeper, right? The Enderman, we already had one running around, but we'll spawn another one. So that's what the Enderman looks like. Silverfish, he's missing his spines on this one. The skeleton, looks like he's got his mouth stitched closed, or maybe those are just supposed to be jagged teeth. Wither skeleton. The stray always seems to be facing the other direction. Look over this way, stray. There you go. Creepy, creepy. Well, if this one was still, if this texture pack was still available on the marketplace a month from now, I would have just saved this for Halloween time and done it as one of my spooky Ducktober ones. Spider and cave spider, they just have the same face. The zombie looks different. Definitely an unusual zombie. Bogged is too new. The husk looks kind of like the zombie. Looks exactly like the zombie, actually. Maybe a slightly different color. Or maybe that one's just more in the shade. The drowned, same story. Not even going to go in there. Squid and glow squid. Yep. They just slapped that face on the squid and glow squid. So some of these mobs, very creative and original, or maybe they're not original in terms of design. Maybe these are all taken from previous Backrooms designs, but I mean original in the sense that they're different from default Minecraft. Here's a witch, but then you've got mobs that they really just kind of stuck the face on and gave it a texture, you know. I always like to see some variety, and there's kind of a lot of the sameness going on here. Here's the Guardian and Elder Guardian. Here is the Endermite, which I need to spawn in. Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, see, they're doing different things with some of these. The Magma Cube. Face over this way, Magma Cube. I wanted to see your face. Oh, it's just... Okay. Default Backrooms face. Same thing with the Strider. Here's the Zoglin. Zombie Piglin. Zombie Piglin Brute. Which I will eventually just shove these guys into the same enclosure if another mob is added that I can put in this spot. Here's the goats. The axolotl. Oh, I'm trying to get a good look at their face. Okay. Custom geometry on the axolotl. Gave them extra little quills or tentacles or whatever you want to call them. The LA. If that's what the LA look like, I don't even want to see the fillet. Here's the frog. Pretty much what I was expecting from this pack when it comes to the frog. The wandering trader and their llamas are gone. Spawn in the trader. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Okay, he's wearing one of the suits. The camels are smiley face men, which I will be honest with you, I was not expecting. I was expecting to see the smiley face men at some point. I don't know the names of any of these creatures, but I'm just calling them how I see them. I was expecting to see them in this pack, but I wasn't expecting them to be camels. Really tall camels. The blaze. That works for a blaze. That's acceptable. The ghast. We will see the ghast better here in a moment. The shulker. Kind of cool. Got bony faces on underneath there. The vindicator. And the evoker. Evoker's different, at least. More different than the vindicator. Cool, cool. Here are the villagers, and as expected, they are, you know, wearing the human suits. The suits that the, you know, human characters wear. I always prefer when villagers all look dramatically different from each other, but that's just me. Zombie villagers. Here is the Phantom. He's always got his head buried in the ceiling, but we'll assume that there's probably one of these faces on it. Villager. Here is the Ravager. I was kind of expecting the Ravager to have unique geometry, but he doesn't. Here are the Iron Golem and the damaged Iron Golem. Can you tell which one is damaged, though? You kind of can't. Here is the Snow Golem and the Snow Golem with his pumpkin carved off. They're just kind of chilling today, just hanging out. Here is the Sniffer. That's a different Sniffer. You would expect mobs like this to be hostile mobs, but that's what the Sniffer looks like in this pack. It points for originality, I suppose. The Armadillo is too new. Here's what the Warden looks like. Cool. Didn't mean to spawn in two of them back when I had to respawn them. And the breeze is tuned. Okay, let's go check out the nether. By the way, if you were wondering what the camel looks like when you're riding on it, this is what that's about. This is what that's like. You're riding up on his shoulder. So I guess that works, right? You know, I was kind of wondering about that, so that answers that question. Welcome to the nether. Here's what the nether portal looks like. It's static, which I appreciate. I'm just kind of surprised this is the most staticky nether portal that we've seen so far. And here's what the ghast looks like without his cage. Here's the hoglins, or the non-zombified zoglin, if you prefer. The respawn anchor is just kind of dark. Here's what the piglins look like. I was kind of expecting more like original designs for these mobs, but you know, I mean, you can tell what these guys are at least. Let's take a peek around the nether. This video's already kind of gone on a little long, so I won't linger too long. But let's go ahead and poke our head this way and see if anything unusual pops out. Guess not. Okay. Let's go check out the stronghold below template world and then the end. Here we are in the stronghold below template world. This is one that you can create for yourself. All I did was, you know, dig a hole down to where the stronghold is and, you know, added this pillar here, and that's pretty much all that I did different about this one. Here's what villager houses look like. You can kind of see what a normal world looks like with this texture pack on. Here's ice and frozen snow, so I mean frozen water, since that doesn't really show up in my other pack. Poke over here to look at one of the abandoned villager houses. Kind of what you'd expect, I suppose. And yeah, I mean, you certainly could play in this pack. Just play normal Minecraft with this pack, but I think you're mostly gonna want to be, you know, making your own back rooms is what it's really for. But you know, you could get by just playing normally in survival. Go down into the stronghold. There you go. We're in the back rooms, everybody. Well, we're in a stronghold, but it's the closest that we've come to being in the back rooms. I wasn't going to like assemble a backrooms maze or anything just to show off this texture pack. Eye of Ender. Here's what the end portal looks like. It is very staticky. Let's jump in. Okay. Let's check out the Ender Dragon, and then I will give my final thoughts. Here's an end crystal first. It is dark. Okay, let's look at that Ender Dragon. It's looking like it doesn't appear to be custom geometry, but it's got different patterns to it. Okay, so final thoughts. I mean, I feel like this pack sets out to do one very specific thing, which is give you a resource pack to create your own backrooms, and I feel like it does a pretty good job of that specific thing. Because really you're in it for kind of this texture, right? Like this texture and maybe this texture, and that's and the mobs, and that's what it's doing for you, and it does a pretty good job at that. I'm sure that other people have created backrooms texture packs, and maybe those are better, but I'm unlikely to spend any of my own money on a Backrooms pack just to test that out. But then again, there's things like this. There's things like the stone that I feel would greatly detract from any normal, playthrough of Minecraft, and really, like, I have to take that into consideration. I was going to give it a 4, but I'm going to have to give it like a 3.6 because and some of that is because some of those points are because of the custom geometry on the mobs. But there's also the fact that a lot of the mobs are just kind of copies of each other, which I feel is a little bit creatively bankrupt. I feel like they could have done more for us in terms of different mobs, Not everything has to be custom geometry, but you should at least do something creative with the design of mobs. But I mean, this is a perfectly serviceable Backrooms pack. And if you were looking to make your own like massive identical looking maze with occasional details that are different, and maybe some spooky mobs here and there to, help or hinder the player, then I feel like this could do the trick for you. But there's just some things that drag the design down. So anyway, those were my final thoughts. So please subscribe if you haven't already, and please leave a like. And if you have a friend who might benefit from seeing a video on this pack or one of the other packs that I've covered, please share one of my videos with them. I really appreciate that. Yeah, so join me on the next one, and coming up in just a month's time, it'll be Spooky Ducktober, and I'll have a couple of special spooky things planned. So, a whole month, given that nothing goes wrong with my health, a whole month of spooky content on the channel. So look forward to that. Thanks for joining me. See you next time. Peace. Thank you. Please like, subscribe, and share. Drifter Garden was filmed in front of an undead studio audience. Beware the radioactive mongoose of time.